The Adobe Connect meeting interface is made up of a number of different elements. As you can see here on the screen, there are 4 elements currently displayed here. The terminology Connect uses for these elements is pods, and you as the meeting host have the ability to rearrange these pods, customize them, add and remove them as you see fit to work best with your meeting. So I'm just going to go quickly through adding pods, rearranging them, and we'll get into more detail in a podcast on creating new layouts. But here is the pod menu, and if I click this, you can see these are the available pods. Now currently we have in this window an attendee list pod, a chat pod which is a little bit buried, the camera and voice pod, and a sharing pod. I'm going to stop sharing just so you can take a look at the blank sharing pod. If I want to get rid of a pod, hide it, I can click this dash up here and that will hide the pod. If I decide I want that back, I go back to pods and share, and I can create a new share pod, or if I know that I want to use that PowerPoint I had open, I can just select that one again. It will reopen it, and I'm going to move it over here. So I put my mouse in the green menu bar on the top, I hold down on my left mouse button, and I can then drag the pod within the meeting space. If I want to make it larger, I can put my mouse down here at the lower right hand corner, and I get a pointer, a double arrow pointer. I click the mouse button, left mouse button, hold that down, and I can drag to expand it. We're going to hide this pod again, and we're going to take a look at a couple of the other pods that there are. The attendee list is already present and open. The camera and voice pod is here. The chat pod is there. We can add new chat pods, although there'd be no real good reason to do that. A note pod, if I want to add some notes, I can create a new note pod, and it opens up, and I'm going to minimize that, reduce it down a little bit. And then I want to add a poll. And I have a poll here called "What are you hoping we have for lunch?" So we'll open that. And again, we put the mouse in the green title bar, hold the left mouse button down and drag. And again, to resize it, I just want things to look a little bit tidy here. And file share pod, I can drop a file share pod in here if there are some files I'd like to share with my meeting participants. And again, we resize this because we obviously don't want it that large. Bring it over here and drop it down there. And we're really not going to look at the functionality of these pods right now. We're just looking at the arrangement of elements on the screen. And I can also have web links. And here's my web links pod. Now this layout is a little bit crowded, a lot going on here. I wouldn't necessarily choose to use all these at once in any specific layout, but this just illustrates the process of adding or hiding pods and moving them around on the screen. And there are 2 screencasts coming up that will deal further with pods. One is customizing the layout so that you can develop your own lobby and specific layouts. And the second one will deal with the specific functionality of some of the pods. But for now, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how the interface worked and how you could rearrange the elements.